we are very much, my brother and I, we are very happy that this is finally coming to an end. And we would like to thank the police force for this. And what else can we ask for? I'm glad that justice will be served.
It took about a dozen persons, inclusive of policemen from the Guyana Police Force, to trek through what was once slush and mud here at the Rose Hall Foreshore in Region 6, Berbice. They trekked about a mile from here behind to get to those mangroves to retrieve the remains of the brown clothes man.
I'm Sheik Abrahim. I'm known as Trevor around the area, and I'm the eldest son of my deceased father, Kamaluddin Abrahim. My father would complain that people at the back there would go into his premises on many occasions. He had reported many times at the game station. Apparently nothing was done during those complaints. And it kept getting worse at one period. There was a time when he was gagged, and he was actually blindfolded, gagged, and I think they had hit him with some kind of a wood or something, because there was an impression on his back. He chose to live there by himself. He liked his freedom, or else he should have been living with me, right? But he wanted to be there by himself. He likes if you notice, the kind of a bush life kind of, life, like. And because he was accustomed to that, he has clothing that he would normally go to work with, that is khaki, and he has clothing that he goes out with, that is khaki. So he was always known, and at the back here, people had known him as the brown clothes man. The last guy that lived on the house, right, whom we would have positively think that he is the guy who is responsible for his death, was the guy who was living next door, and he came over the yard in 2022. And my father had known that people used to invade the yard. And so one night he confronted him. That was in the month of March. And the guy had a cutlass in his hand, and he dealt him 9 chops around his head. He suffered a fractured skull. My brother would normally visit him on weekends. He lives in Georgetown. And when he came the Saturday, I think it was the last Saturday of the month of June, he found that the door was opened, and he called me right away. And he said that this doesn't look right. And my brother and I, we went to the station. We made a missing person report. And on CARICOM Day, I think it was in July, somewhere around there, we got a call from the station saying that they found somebody that seems to match his identity. And when we found him, he was already decomposed to a very great degree. And I was able to ID him because I could recognize his fingers, his nails, and I recognized the chop that he had here, this fractured skull, because we saw that in the x-ray. And that is how we ID'd him. And subsequently, he was kept a couple of days, and we had to carry him to number 7 to be post-mortem. And the manner in which the officers then, they handled the thing was not very too particular. And the pathologist came up with a conclusion that it was inconclusive evidence, and it was just rest like that.
What we would have noticed is that there were some irregularities as it relates to the body, its position, and what was found. The detectives, headed by an assistant superintendent of police and his team, would have worked feverishly for the past week. Hence, we would have had a confession in this matter.
It's a surreal feeling to give the family of a victim the news that look after so many years. Well, it's not that much year, 2 years, but give the family of a victim this kind of relief, closure, that after waiting 2 years or thereabout, there's some semblance of closure. You know, there's still belief, but there's some semblance of closure that we can have, given that the police have, that we have apprehended the persons responsible.
It is the 3rd of October 2025, the day the police finally got a breakthrough in his murder, a confession, and the motive behind. Reporting from the Rose Hall Foreshore in Region 6, I am Leroy Smith for Big Smith News Watch.